Oh, welcome back to the shop. And that's the right color. Z06 supercharged. Definitely all the right colors. I do love this blue. 2015 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 from Pennsylvania. This one's a unique ask by the customer. They want the car to wear tires as efficiently as possible. So we're actually going to detune the suspension for performance and stand up the wheels a little bit to maximize tire life. We do that because these tires are expensive, and some people plan to drive the car and drive the wheels off of it, which is what this guy is going to do. And he wants to get the most life out of his tires. He's not taking it to the track. He's not taking it to dragways. He's not street racing it. So realistically, I'm going to take as much camber out of this and set the toe as clean as I can. Give it factory caster, and it'll drive, cruise, and handle well. It'll do what it needs to do, and it'll minimize tire wear. So currently, I have it with the factory settings pretty close. We need adjustable rear toe adjustment arms, which he brought. So we're going to install those. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my caster, and then wherever my camber ends up is where it ends up. I'm actually going to add shims to the upper control arms to bring my camber positive because I'm out of adjustment. And then I'm going to use my adjusters on the lower control arms to give me negative camber. But if I can get my caster dead even, then I can easily adjust the camber and then set my toe after getting my arms on. So something a little different, but that's what you do, what the customer wants. My alignment adjustment shims for the fronts. Actually, I can use these in the rears as well. And we're going to add the same amount to both uppers. We have 4 of those, 4 of those, so 4, 4, and 4. And I'm probably going to add those to all positions in the front. I'm going to try to not add any to the rear. And then we have these adjustable tow bars from... Oh, it blew off. Granatelli Motorsports. Adjustable arms. Not bad. Well, let me get this caster squared up, because that's going to be a front adjustment, which is going to actually increase my camber to the negative as my rear adjuster is pushed all the way out to maximize my caster gain. If I remember correctly, let's look at that. Alright, so I need to increase my caster so I can rotate this guy, adjusting mostly caster. That'll bring my lower ball joint forward, which will increase my caster, but it will also increase my negative camber, but I can counter my negative camber up top. So once my casters are set correctly, I'll adjust my upper arm out to stand up my camber, and then I'll move both adjusters the same amount to dial in my camber where I want it. So let's go ahead and get our caster dialed in. I need 2 21mm wrenches. I've been doing this stuff a long time and I still get confused doing it. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Let's lock that down. Re-sweep the caster to see what our actual gain has been. You can see with a minor adjustment to each spot. Our cambers are within a tenth, our casters are dead even. We'll sweep caster real quick to verify. Aye! Thanks. Crooked. What just happened? That's better. So I'm a funny guy. I take and I drop some ATF or Marvel Mystery Oil into the tie rod ends, and whenever I have them loose, we're here in Ohio, and cars get road salt on them and road grime and moisture, and I put a little oil on there, and then when I see the car down the line, or somebody else sees the car down the line, the tie rod ends actually come loose because they've been lubricated instead of just dry and rusty garbage. We deal with that a lot here. Touch toe in. I've been real busy with the shop stuff. Hopefully, the next few days I'll be finishing up a few things that I've been working on, mainly the chipper. I got a 65 volts out there. I'm taking parts off so that I can make headway on my Buick. And also whittling away at the 64 Ford Falcon, which that one we're probably gonna just edit, put all together, put it out in the series. That seems to work better with the algorithms of all this stuff. Austin's really knowledgeable about the YouTube channel stuff and how it works, and we're real happy to have him on our crew. It's looking pretty close. Let me check my steering wheel, and we'll re-sweep caster. But the front, I think, is going to be perfect for maximum tire wear, and yet still handle and drive clean. We're within factory specifications towards the lower performance side, but it's still going to perform perfectly well for street driving and cruising. And it's not going to wear tires as nearly as bad as what it would with the more aggressive settings. So you can see I'm within a 1/10 of a degree camber. My caster's dead on. That's after redoing my rolling compensation and after doing my caster sweep, so I know I have fresh readings. So my toe's set, just a touch toe in for stability. This should work really well. So I know you guys are getting tired of alignment videos. You can only do so many alignment videos before people stop watching, and judging by the viewership, you're not. So we're gonna try and get some fun stuff back in here. I talked about this the other day. I do have a little pickup truck sitting out back we affectionately call the redneck truck. It's a 92 or 94 Chevy GMT 400 four-wheel drive truck. That's what we converted to two-wheel drive. It has a 5.3, basically a junkyard 5.3 in it with an NV3500. The NV3500 is going to die probably a quick death with what we're planning to do with this truck. I'm going to probably have that in here tonight or tomorrow to get it up and running. Please stop calling me. And then he hangs up. Whatever. Alright, I gotta load an engine up on a pallet. Sorry. Hang on a second. Alright, I got that core motor loaded up. Almost done. We're on a downhill slide on that one. So as I was saying, we're getting ready to pull in this GMT 400 and get it set up. Last time I drove it was a couple years ago. I was running down the road and it ran out of gas under boost and it made all sorts of horrible noises. So I'm not really sure what happened to it at the time. I just brought it in, parked it. Austin and I went out there a couple months ago to fire it up. I dropped some fuel in it and it was just pouring out the bottom, so there's a fuel line that's dried up. Hopefully it's just a quick fix. To get it running and assess it, we need to get the wastegate set up on it, and I don't know, maybe I'll get it in, get it running, and then strap it down to the dyno so we can see what it's actually doing. See if I heard it when I ran it out of fuel. But the front end on this looks really good as far as this alignment's concerned, so I can pull the rear wheels off, change my rear toe links out for the adjustable ones, because right now, as you can see, I'm within 1/10 of a degree. I'm dead on caster. My front toe's good. My rear camber's within 1/10. So I need to get my toe squared up. Good news is I just need to strip the rear heads off, pull the wheels, change the toe links, and then I can put the rear heads back on, recomp it, reset my rear toe, and the front should all still hold what it is. So that'll be the end of this. So this is about a 3-hour alignment to do this. Make all the adjustments up front, make all the adjustments in the rear. These cars do have dual adjustable rear control arms, so you can actually set these up, and there's actually a way to read caster. There's two little pucks in the back here that a special tool goes in, and then you can use a digital gauge to read what your caster degree is in the back. And if you set your camber by only adjusting one of the rear bolts, oftentimes you'll end up with a pull in the rear of the car on hard launches. So you have to check your caster on these Corvettes, because they are 2-point adjustable, so you can change caster around in it. So a lot of guys at the regular alignment shops probably don't check the rear caster on these, but it is what it is. Sometimes, so these have a conical seat, and when you take the lock nut off, it breaks the lock of the cone, and then it just spins the stud in the hole, and you can't get it off. Sometimes you can use a pry bar and apply pressure against it, and it gives enough tension to get past the locking nut. But not having that luck today. I need more leverage, more pressure. I can't get on it with an impact. This thing just won't let go. I got it loose. So old links are out. New links can go in. Just lost my spacers. This is double adjustable Heim setup, so we should have all the adjustment we need to get our toe where it needs to be. Doesn't fit. Why does nothing fit? What's holding me up? Lost boot. Get it off. I'm not going to be able to get it back on. Kidding me, man. Nothing fits. tired of working on cars, having to do things 2 or 3 times. You have to custom do stuff because the stuff isn't built right to begin with. Or sometimes it's just me doing it wrong. 1.5. 5.2. It's 25 thousandths wider. That's not going to work. These are the tabs are cast aluminum, so if I try to bend them out, they're more than likely going to break. 502. So 20 thou. I guess I'm gonna turn 20 thou off of each one of these. Well, I'll turn 20 thou off of one, and I'll put those forward, and that should give us the clearance we need to get this into the rack. Well, I cut 18 thou off of one. We'll see how it fits. I think it'll work. I'm gonna put my other one at. Great, now I set down the other one. I wonder if I set it down on the lathe. Losing my head, man. Pretty accurate. I'm within 5 thou now. What I indicated on my lathe may not be accurate. I have an archaic lathe, so it is what it is. I'd rather take off less than more of those. That's perfect. So, put our boot back on. I'm actually going to drop some oil down on this inside the boot. But it's a small hole for a big joint. That's what she said. Alright, so our studs installed. These are 3/4 or 19 millimeter nuts, nylock nuts. So I run them in by hand. Oftentimes when you run a nylock in with an impact, you can overheat the nylon, defeating the locking portion of said nut. I just put this guy in a mid position, locked it down. We'll make our adjustments by turning the turnbuckle. So I need to nip one of these guys down 15 thou like I did the other side. Probably a manufacturing variance in the parts, but this one measures the same as the last one. So 150, just a hair under 150. 1498. That one might be okay. 1496. So this one will probably be okay. Alright, cool. Doesn't feel like it. Feels like I'm gonna have to cut it. What is it saying? 1520. Sometimes my brain just isn't working. How do I keep getting different readings? I bet I was reading a 6 instead of a 5. So there's 520. 498. So we're going to cut 15 thou off the front again. They'll be even, and then they should fit. Luckily, I have a lathe. I don't use it often, but it's really handy when I need it. snug. I guess you could face it on a sander. You wouldn't be exact. I was able to use the dial indicator on the way to know exactly how far I was taking that off, since I don't have a digital readout on that archaic lathe. I wouldn't know what to do to have I wouldn't even know how to use it. That not getting tight. I got nothing but problems, man. Nothing but problems. That one got tight. I think the nut pulled. I don't know how I have that kind of luck. Like, if something's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong when I'm working on it. How is that possible? So the nut won't come off and the nut won't get tight. It won't pull torque. So it's tight. It's not tight. I mean, the cone is seated and it's not spinning. If I back it off a turn, it'll start to spin. But it had to have pulled the threads. So I guess I'll call the customer and tell them they need to order another kit. But I'm not sure how I'm going to get that off. I may have to cut it off. There's a unique problem I didn't think I was going to be facing today. I thought I was just going to install links as an alignment. It'll be quick. I got the counter lock, hold, do all that. Fortunately, one of the threads galled, and it's galled and it's stud the whole way down. So that's a problem. Definitely the stud that failed. So I'm going to try and clean up the threads on the stud and the nut, and then I'll put a spacer on it to put the nut back on it. Where the threads are still good on the shank, and we'll let the customer know they're from out of town, so that'll get them back with this setup and the car properly aligned. We'll have to change the pin out, although we'll see. It might be okay once I get it shimmed out and I can pull torque on the nut, because all the load is in the conical part of it. It just has to hold torque to keep it in place. Strange failure for me to have today. I'm trying to do a lot of other things, and this is not helping me get my other things done I need to get done today. I'm wondering if the tapered part of the stud protrudes, but it tightened down like it was tightening down, and then it just spun. So I don't know. We'll say I caused the failure. I'm going to use a TRZ Motorsports bump steer shim to get past where the damaged threads are on the stud. I ran a thread chaser through the nut. The nut's perfectly fine. So, chaser, nut, and the spacer's just long enough that it'll get us past the damaged threads, but also allow the thread locker, the thread locking portion to engage and lock down. So, put torque wrench on it, make sure it pulls 30 pounds of foot-pounds of torque. It's basically an M12. There's 30 pounds is going to be plenty. Pull 25 foot-pounds of torque. There's actually 30 foot-pounds of torque on this torque wrench. So, I think that's a win. Solution for problem. Problem overcome. Sometimes working on cars is not fun. Didn't think I was going to be using my leg today. So this kit's actually a really nice kit. The more I think about it, I'm thinking I caused the threads to pull on that because this kit has a washer that they supply to install under the nut, and I did not do that. And that could be the difference of the conical seat protruding through the boss on the knuckle. And what probably happened was I went to tighten the nut, but the nut bottomed against the conical seat, and that stopped the nut from moving, and that pulled the threads off of the stud. Although there was no damage to the nut, and the nut cleaned up fine, and the nut ended up pulling torque just fine. So maybe it had bad threads. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to say that I caused the failure because I didn't put the washer on. It's plausible. Or it was just a bad part. But they even said in the directions, you may use the factory 18mm nut on the new tapered Granatelli pins when reinstalling. So they actually manufactured these with the same thread and size as the factory parts. Of course, I had to torch one of mine to get it off because it was sticking. So you wouldn't want to reuse one that you put heat on. But all in all, really, really nice kit. So let's get this final adjustment done on the back, and we'll move on with our day, because that's what you do when you have problems. You overcome them. I need to do a caster sweep, and we'll get our final readings, set our rear toe, and move on. Alright, so my front's looking pretty good. I can pull my front position in a touch more, which will reduce my camber to match it up and increase my caster. Let's see what. Let's make our rear toe adjustment. We'll bump that camber and caster, and then we'll set our final toe. Well, I think we have a winner. So, What's our back look like? So we'll tweak that down to 0. We'll lock it down. Our camber in the rear is perfect. Our toe in the front's good. Our camber in the front's good. And our caster in the front's good. We'll take it. All right, well, that concludes this segment. We are going to strip the heads off this thing, take it for a test drive, and this guy should get excellent tire wear out of this thing. The alignment is, I don't know how much better I can make it than that for tire wear. It's pretty solid. So let's get this thing stripped down and go for a drive. I love the color combo on this one too. This metallic blue is dead sexy out in the sunlight. Supercharged LT4. Just, yes please. And it's manual. Manuel. Well, that's a wrap on this alignment. Rear link setup. We got a couple things coming our way that are not alignments. So you guys will probably enjoy that. In the meantime, this one's going back to Pennsylvania, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. See you soon.